Hi friends, this video I am emphasizing on basic grammar and a person who really loves to speak good English. Basic points I want to emphasize. I'll be talking about parts of speech. I will talk about tenses. I will emphasize on degrees of comparison. These three things I will talk, but in length I will educate you. First and foremost thing, look, parts of speech, it's quite important. Why? Because you should know, when you're talking something, if you know about verb, adverb, noun, pronoun, adjective, preposition, conjunction, interjection, definitely it helps you a lot. These are the things you've got to keep. I will tell you about that. Basic about the noun, you should know, verb, adverb, what it's all about. You talk about pronoun, basically I'll give you examples. Whatever I have spoken about these 8, I'll just tell you, you talk about verb, you should know what is verb all about. How many types of verbs are there. You talk about noun, how many types. Might be you're thinking, obviously verb is verb. I'm just trying to tell you that there is a linking verb, there is an auxiliary verb, there is connecting verb, there are action verb. A lot of things are there. You've got to understand that. Besides, you talk about noun. Noun is noun. Apart from that, you have countable, you have uncountable noun, you have abstract noun, you have collective noun, you have proper noun. These all things are there. You should master that. Apart from that, pronoun. Pronoun definitely it's like a word which is used instead of a noun. It's simple. So what you've got to do, what is pronoun? For example, it's like I, we, you, they, them, ourselves, themselves, mine, his, her, she, all these things are there, he, which are using instead of a noun. This is about pronoun. Now you talk about adverb. Simply I'll tell you one thing, usually, when it ends with ly, you keep in your mind that is adverb. I'm just giving you basic examples. It's not like that these are everything. This is just a tip on the iceberg. People, my lovable students, my respected friends, my family members, or whoever watching YouTube, I want to give them something. That's all. That's the reason I'm giving you this. It doesn't mean that this is everything. This is just the basic grammar. You've got to learn a lot. Okay? We've talked about noun, we've talked about pronoun, we talk about adverb, we talk about verb. Now I will talk about conjunctions. What is conjunction? That means you're just connecting. That's it. From one word to another word, or from one sentence to another sentence. Basically, you talk about but, you talk about however, you talk about as well as, you talk about neither nor, you talk about either or, whatever. I'm just giving an example. Okay? So you've got to keep these things in your mind. Preposition. You understand? Now, for example, I'm saying that I am keeping my phone on the table. That means when I'm saying on, that is preposition. That means before the position you're doing something. Okay? Keep this thing, For example, I'm going with my friend. This with is a preposition. So you have to keep this thing in your mind. Now I'm just giving examples. Probably I'll talk to you much in length in another video, but at this point in time, I want to talk about adjective. I want to talk about, just now I've spoken about preposition. Now adjective, I'm just giving an example, you have to qualify things, for example, I'm saying that I'm drinking coffee. I'm saying that I'm drinking delicious coffee. I'm qualifying this thing, like noun or pronoun, which I'm qualifying, okay? That we call it as that, okay? Now we talk about, I've spoken about adjective, I've spoken about adverb, verb, noun, pronoun, conjunction, interjection is obviously, sudden strong feeling. That's it, okay? Now you talk about, I've spoken about preposition also. All these things are quite important. To support this, why I'm saying all these things is, probably coming videos, I'll tell you in detail about noun, what is noun, what are the, how to use, when to use, all these things I'll talk about that. But because I have told you that I will be taking care of parts of speech, I'll be talking about tenses, I'll be talking about degrees of comparison. That is the reason I'm giving you all, because my sole intention is, look, in this world you should be a giver, because when God Almighty has given me something, I want to give back to the society, and definitely this video, if helps you, you try to comment, you try to tell me what is the best part, what you really like, what exactly you need. I will come up with another video, I will help you out. But why I'm saying this thing is, you should learn something from me, I really have a book called Die Empty. When you are going up, from this world, you've got to be a giver, you've got to give something to this world. That's the reason I'm giving maximum what I can. Okay, apart from that, I've just spoken about parts of speech. Now we'll talk about degrees of comparison. It's a basic thing, positive, comparative, superlative. Now positive is what? For example, I'm talking about big. Big is a positive word. Okay, now I'm doing comparison. That means comparative of big is bigger. After that, when I'm talking about superlative, superlative is biggest. Big, bigger, biggest. Now, big, definitely you're talking about one thing, you're emphasizing about that. Like you are saying that it's a big building. That means one building, you're talking about that. But when you talk about bigger, that means you're comparing. There are two buildings and you're saying that bigger. That means when you're using bigger, you're think in your mind that we are talking about comparative. Okay, now superlative. What is superlative? Superlative, I'm saying the biggest. That means there are 3, 4, 5 buildings, or there are more than 2 buildings. I'm saying that this is the biggest building among all. I hope you understand about between and among. How we use between we use for 2, among we use for more than that. I mean, 2 placed people like that. That is what, like between the friends, among the friends. There is a difference. Hope you understand. Now, I have educated you about degrees of comparison. I mean, I've talked about positive, comparative, and superlative. Fine. Apart from that, now I'll emphasize about tenses. Tenses are so important because look, when you know about tenses, then you understand how to, structure, formation, how to write best of the best sentences, because this is quite important. I'll give you a basic funda, you will never forget in life. Tenses, like past, present, future, okay? Now in that, we have sub, like for example, you talk about present tense. In present, we have 4. Now what is that? Simple present, present continuous, present perfect, and present perfect continuous. This is about simple I'm talking, present tense. Similarly, you have past, simple past, past continuous, past perfect, and past perfect continuous. Got it? Now, one more thing is about future. Simple future, future continuous, future perfect, and future perfect continuous. Fine, these are the things. Now, to give much more education on this, I'll tell you what you've got to do. Look, in present, present form, like in present tense, always keep in your mind, you have to use is, are, am, have, has. Have this thing in your mind. Okay, this is about present. Past, was, were, had. This thing you keep in your mind. Apart from that, you talk about future. Usually, will be, will have been, shall be, shall have, has been, or have been. These are the things you've got to keep in your mind. This will help you a lot. So I've just emphasized about present, past, and future. Now, to get depth into that, I'll give you one example. For example, you talk about simple present, like I speak. Okay, now you said that, sir, you have spoken about a simple present. What about present continuous? Then present continuous is I am speaking. And present perfect is I have spoken. Now present perfect continuous is I have been speaking. So now you understand. I have spoken about 4. I speak, I am speaking, I have spoken, and I have been speaking. Now what you've got to do is you've got to get in detail of that. Now you can use I, we, you, they, he, she, it. You make sentences. This is about present. Similarly about past. Now when I say simple present I speak, simple past is I spoke. Past continuous is I was speaking. Past perfect is instead of I had spoken. Now whereas in present perfect I said I have spoken, whereas here I said I had spoken. Now past perfect continuous, I had been speaking. Over. Simple, okay? So these are the very, I'm giving you a piece of cake. The sole intention of mine is I want you to learn. I want you to understand. English is quite easy if you really devote to that, if you involve, if you love English. It's not that, just English comes by like that. I've practiced a lot, I've got a phrase, practice, until practice becomes a habit. You have to have that. These are the things very important. I'm sure you will learn a lot. Now, I've spoken about present, I've spoken about past, now I'll talk about future. Now look, I've given an example of I speak. and I spoke in simple present and simple past. You talk about simple future, just say I will speak. That's it. Alright? Now future continuous. I will be speaking. Now future perfect. I will have spoken. I shall have spoken. This thing you keep in your mind. Now fourth one, I will have been speaking. You understand? Only thing here, what you're changing, will be, will have been. These are the things. See, I'm just giving an example. This is the basic structure. You've got to consolidate. You've got to add up. Okay? Why I'm giving all these things? Because you should get a knowledge. Now you've got about tenses, you've got about parts of speech, you've got about degrees of comparison. Now, one more thing what I want to tell you is, are, am, have, has, please use most of the time in present. Okay, present tense. You talk about was, were, had, please use in this, past tense in that. It could be anything, it could be any form. I'm just giving, these are the things, it will help you out. You talk about future, definitely when you talk about future, will comes into picture, shall comes into picture, will be comes into picture, will have been. Why? Because when you use be, ing has to come. Have these things in your mind, all these things, why I'm giving to you, because I want you to learn something, because this is the basic things which I understand. This is the easiest way where we can educate people, in the, grammar it's a big thing. I'm not saying that by this you will learn everything. It's a part. It's introductory classes. I thought that, I should do something, this will definitely help you a lot. Apart from that, what you've got to do is, whatever knowledge I have given, please try. If you learn something, please do comment in my, comment box. And if you really love the video, please like it, share it, subscribe it, make it, because my sole intention is you should learn. Because why I'm doing these efforts, it's not just to, impress. I'm doing these efforts to express the knowledge what I have. I'm doing this all because everyone should learn, because those who get some benefit, definitely they'll bless me. I'm quite optimistic because the knowledge what I'm sharing, definitely it should be fruitful, definitely it should be helpful. I only believe in one thing, you should be a giver, because always, one thing I believe, when you're a giver, people respect you, people loves you, no matter how much a big person you are. But if you're not a contributor, if you're not an architect of someone's life, what's the point? If you're just living a life half-heartedly, there is no point. So life is a meaningful. You give back to the society. You have to take care of yourself. You have to take care of your family. You have to take care of your society. You have to take care of your relatives. You have to take care of your country. You have to take care of this world, because this is a noble thing. Most of the people, what they do, they just take care of themselves. They think that if I am good, everything